I would not say Buddhism is a science. The ism part means sort of it relates to being a religion, like Hinduism, Confucianism, Taoism. So ism sort of automatically assumes a religion. And I agree that Buddhism is a religion for those who do not use its educational system very fully. And in Asian history, since most of the societies for a long period of time were sort of semi-literate or very non-literate societies, and very few people were educated, only the upper classes, and then later Buddhist monks and nuns, once Buddhism was in that society, were literate. And so your unliterate farmer who would be taught a sort of pious sermon by a Buddhist monk or basic ethical precepts, etc., and might observe the example of Buddhist monks being self-restrained and not over-emotional and not like angry and so forth, hopefully, usually. So for them, it's a religion. In other words, they believe that the Buddha must have been a good person, perhaps enlightened, whatever they think enlightenment might mean. They have still divinities. Buddhism never took people's divinities away from them, but it just de-absolutized them, relativized them, made them maybe less fanatical or attempted to. And so for them, it's definitely religion, you have to say. But was Buddha's main purpose to found a religion? I don't really think so. He more was rebelling against the Veda, what I call Vedism, which believed that Veda was the word of God. They followed priests' injunctions, and they didn't consider that you rationally had to somehow understand it. And so he rebelled against that, the Buddha did. And he felt a human being could understand their world and their reality, and he was definitely tried to do so. And he felt finally that he was successful. But in a way, ironically, in succeeding, he said what succeeds is experience. You can experience, your understanding becomes experience, realistic experience, and then you're really in touch with reality, let's say. And unfortunately, the way reality is beyond encapsulation in any theory. Theories are useful, however, as part of it in giving you an orientation toward developing valid experience, but ultimately experience rules. And in the modern world, where religions are all rubbing up against each other in the same cities, the same communities, the same towns, and where religious pluralism seems to be the only social practice that is, in a way, conducive to social harmony, therefore, in such kind of multi-religious societies, then the leaders of Buddhism that I most respect and I think are most reasonable in relation to the reality of modern societies, like the Dalai Lama, who say that they don't want to convert you to Buddhism, that it's not necessary to try to convert each other, and he requests, he deeply implores Christians and Muslims and Hindus and Taoists, if he had met more of them, not to try to convert people to their theory, and actually we should be imploring secularists not to try to convert people to their materialist theory, but rather see what good things they have achieved with their different theories and share them and let other people adopt them without necessarily having to enter into the body of those theorists or sort of some membership, you could say, in another religion, or convert to that religion, or convert to the anti-religion of secularism, whatever it is. That would be preferable, that we don't do that with each other. And instead, we offer the services that the Buddhist sciences have elaborated that could be helpful possibly to us in our scientific approach toward the nature of reality. That is to say, our activity focused on seeking to know what is real and differentiate it from what is unreal, and to develop wisdom, which ultimately is scientific wisdom in the sense of its reality-oriented wisdom.